Okay, this here video is for a 2007 4.7 liter 2UZ-FE Toyota Tundra. 2007, second gen, first year. They had these motors in them for a couple years, I think until 2009, and they went to the 4.6. Anyway, this is for the secondary air intake system Hewitt bypass kit. The instructions that come with the kit weren't quite clear on a couple spots, so there's nobody on YouTube that has a specific 2007 4.7 video, so I thought I would make one just with what I did, that I was confused on at first when reading through the instructions, but then sort of figured out. And I am very much a shade tree mechanic. I can do oil changes and brakes and some suspension stuff. I have changed spark plugs once, but it's been a long time, easy peasy stuff. And this was pretty plug and play, but anyway, there were a few things. Just wanted to point out the order that I did things with the air intake, the AIDs, whatever these are called. So first, you want to take out that bolt down there, and there was one in there, but it fell into my fuse box, so don't do that, or maybe get a magnetic bit. And then this one over here, there are three holding on this metal bracket, so that'll come up, and then below this thing, where you unplug everything before, there's two bolts on the bottom of this plate right here that holds this subplate to the main plate that's bolted to the fender. So this plate right here, so this thing is bolted to this thing with these little ones, and then just underneath that there are bolts down there, two bolts that hold on to that. And then you unplug all your things, you plug everything in. It's all very easy, and that's pretty straightforward. These guys get capped and zip tied out of the way. These guys get plugged back into their color matching plugs. Plug that back in, and then the big long harness that comes with your kit. There's a side that has a single piece on it that plugs into the new module valve, this thing. And then these two over here, unplug this from this, and then there's the things on the harness that on one side plug in, and then you run the rest over here and do the same on top with this. Unplug it, and then the two ends plug back into the only other ends that you can. Now, another difficult part was the screws on these valve manifolds, whatever you want to call them. Overnight, I thought these were the ones that were going to have to be removed, but I was wrong, and it's actually these two down here for the block-off plate. So in this area, I was able to just use my little ratchet. I fed it down this way, got it on right here. Use a deep enough 10 millimeter, don't lose it. Check if you have your 10 millimeter around, because I know they like to grow legs and walk away. But find one that's a little bit, deep enough to get a good bite on this, because mine wasn't, and I felt like on the other side I was kind of rounding out the head of the bolt, so make sure it gets a good connection. A little bit of PB Blaster was on there for 10 or 15 minutes, and that works. So once you get that, you do your million little turns to loosen this thing up. I used my trusty hammer and a little block to just kind of pop this apart a little bit, just a couple taps, just enough to get this block off plate with your kit in between this plate right here and this clipped on gasket. There's a little gasket that's clipped onto this manifold right here, the real thin metal gasket. Don't take that off, just loosen these bolts up enough to make a gap in there to slide your block off plate in between this and the metal gasket. So metal gasket is super thin, like almost paper thin it looks like. So you got plate, block off plate, super thin metal gasket, and then manifold up here. The other side on this 2007 4.7 was a little harder to reach from the top. There's that bolt, and then there's another one kind of just to the right of it on the other side. It's behind all this stuff. Let's see if I can. There she blows. Right there. So I tried, couldn't find the right angle from up here, so I had to use this thing. 22 inches tip to tail. And I laid down under here. And I took this long boy and all the way up through here. Fed it right through there. And you can see it's kind of like Apollo 13. And I just hit the off button. I hope I can clip these two together. Anyway, feed it up through there. Get it on. You can get a nice, good fit right through there. And then as you're looking up, you can see this little squiggle looking, I don't know if it's part of the brake line, I think it is. Right where this little saddle is on this thing, that's where I rested it, right in that V to go up to the one to the right. So let's see if I can. Right there, through that thing, straight on till morning. Get you, yep. Right there. So there you have it. Loosen those up, go back up top side, get your block off plate in just the same way, right above what you're looking at right now, but in between that and the metal gasket. And I think that's it. Just make sure you tighten everything back up. Now I gotta go change my clock spring out of my steering wheel while my battery has been disconnected all day. And hopefully this SOB works in a couple hours when I plug it back in.